Meetings, right? All right, 6:01, February 17th, meeting, call to order, please.
Councilmember Tobin is recorded absent. Councilmember Sullivan.
Here.
Mello.
Here.
Councilmember Lane.
Here.
Councilmember Conlon. Here. Councilmember Carpenter. Here. Councilmember Beckwith. Councilmember Michaels. Here.
You all rise to salute the flag.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You know, have a moment of silence for an incident that's going on in Boonville as we speak with the pastor and the firefighters. You have their thoughts and memories and our thoughts, prayers here. Thank you. Thank you to our first responders. Privilege of the floor. Jacqueline Chaplin, I'm sorry.
Good evening. Thank you, Council and Mayor, for letting me speak to you tonight. Doesn't it make your blood boil and your stomach churn when you see and hear people being treated unjustly, racially profiled, bullied, harassed, threatened? It certainly does mine. I'm speaking to you tonight to urge you and the community to stand up against the systemic classism, racism, and harassment that persists today here in our Cortland County. Over the past decade, I have witnessed firsthand the blatant prejudices and unjust maneuvers and strategies that many of our neighbors, residents, friends, and acquaintances must endure by way of our local and injustice systems and at the expense of our tax dollars. Cortland County has a proud and highly respected history of standing up for injustice through activism. In 1837, following a speech by Jared Smith, an American abolitionist, our local anti-slavery society was founded to provide shelter, resources, channels, and advocacy for those seeking freedom. The Cortland County Anti-Slavery Society raised awareness, provided assistance, and promoted the abolition of slavery through community engagement, education, and activism. In 1956, Dr. Luther King Jr. came here to Cortland and he spoke at the New York State Convention of Universalists at the Cortland Hotel, promoting nonviolent resistance and unity to over 160 Cortland residents. I appeal to you now, the council and the people of Cortland County, to uphold and stand up to continue this righteous legacy. I appeal to you. We must closely monitor our local political, governmental, law enforcement systems. We cannot assume that elected and appointed officials will inherently follow the law and act justly and do the right thing. Please pay attention to whether laws and procedures are being twisted for selfish purposes and join me in demanding accountability to ensure all residents are treated with the dignity and the respect that they deserve. How can we begin together? Listen to those who have been harmed and believe their experiences. Attend local meetings, court hearings, review public records, FOIA, and demand transparency. Support community organizations that provide and aid advocacy for victims. Call out discriminatory behavior when you see it, calmly and persistently. Vote with justice in mind and engage in civic life beyond election day. Thank you, Council, Mayor, and thank you all who are here tonight to stand up for justice and fairness for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I would like to speak to you regarding both your actions and your inaction regarding our local unhoused residents. Over the recent months and years during Mayor Steve's tenure, the actions of the administration and law enforcement have targeted and harassed many of the unhoused community. Their possessions have been confiscated and dumped. They have been rousted from parks, the library, sidewalks, and other public spaces. A council member even suggested to Chuckles that the city rent a bus and cart the unhoused out of town. Your actions are oppressive and reprehensible. Not only have you used our taxpayer dollars to harass the homeless, you have also enlisted city law enforcement to harass those who would help the unhoused by baselessly accosting and charging local residents who are only trying to alleviate the suffering of community residents. It is telling that within the last few months, unhoused persons have died from exposure because of the Cortland government's negligence in funding a warming center. Robin Bowman, 59 years of age, died in November of 2025. And Anne Lafitte, 73, died just last month in January of 2026. These deaths were wholly preventable had the current administration done their job and supported the most basic needs of the community. The mayor and council have prioritized a dog park, pickleball courts, and a new recreation center to the tune of $22 million, of which $7 million is on the tab of Portland taxpayers. But you will spend not one red nickel on the needs of unhoused residents. This is the height of cruelty, and as elected officials, you need to wake up to the real and urgent imperatives of Portland. On a second note, I'm going to urge you, the council, to vote no on item 7. It's unclear based on the redacted document what the Portland taxpayers are agreeing to bankroll, and it's unclear for how long we will be expected to fund the litigation. The redactions do not even identify the basis for withholding the information. Without transparency on the part of the city government regarding the nature of the complaint, it's fiscally irresponsible to move forward. Please vote no on agenda item 7. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Truth.
Who else here to speak? The hearing none will.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
My name is Philip. I'm wearing this jacket and it's big here and very warm. And why wear it? This is how I walk to work every day. Mr. Mayor, I think you are on the council meeting with the Ward 5 meeting last November, and we expressed the safety of people walking on the street on the two-way. Where you lost one life? How many more do you need? Because it's two-way. I walk to work every day, and if you want a catalog of how many messages I have, because people can't see me walking, I can give it to you. This is what I wear to work. At least even city of Cortland police have to give the way for him to drive. How many more seconds do you need? Clinton Avenue, 16 seconds, people pass, the car can go. What's the problem? Tompkins, 20 seconds. People pass can pass. Okay, between community and McNeil, we have light. You can press it. Some people will obey it, people can cross. Why can't we have one next to the post office? Why can't we have next to the brew? If you go past, if you go on your way from Briggs to Brew, that light does not work. You press it, you wait, nothing happens. And it has been there since November last year. It does not work because I walked there this morning, I walked there this afternoon, it does not work. So the safety of people in this community should be bigger at your hand. And the other thing also is the snow. We have the unhoused people living at, I know they spend the night at Salvation Army. The Salvation Army does not shovel the sidewalk. I've seen the unhoused people trying to get through there with their wheelchair. Just how high the snow was. And on the other side, I could not use one side of the road because for 48 hours, the snow was so high and I could not even walk. I think there should be no ordinance that after 48 hours, if it's not shoveled, the city shovels and you give the ticket. Why is that not happening? In fact, the city of Utah has it. The other one is also that I heard through the grapevine that the city of Portland have free Wi-Fi. How many people know that city of Portland have free Wi-Fi? One person. This is a marketing tool for our community. You should have a QR code. You press it, you put your phone there. It tells you where to park. Which business do we have here? Free parking to bring people for the business here. So if it is free, and nobody knows about it, who is using it? Are we still on the 1999? This is 2026. I've been walking because what I heard last time that there's somebody walking around giving people password. I've walked for a whole month now, I've not seen this person. What's the password? See, you put the QR code on the corner, people press the QR code, they will know where to park, how to order the food, what businesses are there. It's a marketing tool for the community. We benefit. But if you have free internet and we are not using it, what is this then for? The unhoused people. This is our problem. We cannot wish them away. What is the city plan? Can we put a budget where we can put where to accommodate people? It's very difficult. I walk in the morning, these people have to get out of the Salvation Army at 7. Some people in pajamas, very cold snow. These are our brothers, our sisters, our parents. What do we do with them? Do we wish them away because they are advantaged people? No, we can't do that. We are human. We should have empathy for these people. Some people might have fallen through hard times. I can lose my job and anything can happen to me. I can be unhoused. So what do we do with these people? Hope you guys listen to me. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Anybody else to speak on public comments? Okay, then we'll go to the finance report. Chuck?
Okay, council, this is my first report to you, and probably hopefully the worst report I ever submit to you. First, I'll start by apologizing that it didn't come out with all the other data earlier or late last week. I've been working on it, trying to get accurate numbers, not numbers that I could throw out there. Gonna change drastically. As I stated in my letter that you got this afternoon, hopefully you all got a chance to read it. For 2025, it looks like the city's gonna have a loss of about $2.5 million. That is mainly due to the revenue not meeting the projected estimates that were put in the 25 budget. Expenses as a whole came in less than what was budgeted. In my experience, working in multiple municipalities, I'll say majority of the people, I'm not just gonna say elected officials, I'll say everybody in general look at what was budgeted, what was actual. But the main aspect of any municipality or private business is the balance sheet. And the balance sheet seems to be forgotten quite a bit. That's what I believe happened in this case, and I'll try to explain to you. When the budget was made up last year, there was a $2.4 million budget revenue for a miscellaneous item. I believe that item, after digging deep into this was for money that was cash, I'm gonna say not money, cash that was spent on a capital project. So we may have spent some money on a capital project using general fund cash. And that would be set up as money that's due from the capital fund back to the general fund. Person creating this budget, I believe from what I've seen, thought it was gonna be revenue. And budgeted as such as revenue of $2.4 million. That is where I think the majority of the error in this whole process happened. Why do I say that? If you look at the 25 budget, there was basically $569,000 budgeted for fire windows in the general fund. The expenses were done in the capital fund. Same situation, she thought she was gonna get a grant and put it in the general fund. In reality, it needs to go to the capital fund. That's where you have to match up your expenses and revenues in the same funds. As you talked in January, the same thing occurred in the 26 budget with CHIPS money. There's basically $730,000 due from CHIPS money that was budgeted in the 26 budget. That's part of that $1 million that I'm trying to work off of. So I believe the majority of this difference in the revenue is due to that error. Hopefully we can fix that $700,000 one in the 26 budget. I'm working on that. Where that was $1 million, that's down to $300,000 now. But the real problem in the 25 budget was we did not meet the revenue numbers that were anticipated in that budget. There was, you will see some expense line items that came in over budget, and we'll come back here with some amendments after I talk to all the departments to figure out how we're gonna cover those. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood what happened, and if you guys have any questions, you can certainly feel free to call me, come in my office. I'm still working this. I'm not gonna tell you that this is a definite number because I'm going through the big dollars first. I still have a lot of other smaller dollars to go through. We still have money coming in just got a cannabis check, I think, today for $30,000. That'll help this, but I also know there's expenses out there that we haven't processed yet. So I think that $2.5 million number is a pretty good, reasonable estimate. I hope it isn't worse. Hopefully it's better. But at this point, I want to give you guys a fair number of where we stood. I know everybody's been asking for that. And I wanted to give you that. The water and sewer fund, both look to have a deficit of about $250,000 for last year. And that, is due to not meeting the revenue expectations there also. I'm not sold that's 100% right now, but when I keep looking at it, I haven't done enough digging. I've been spending more time in the general fund, but a quick glance through those numbers, the revenue numbers look accurate, but hopefully I can find something that we can pick up. The 2024 audit, we are working diligently on that. Working with Insero out of Ithaca to get that taken care of. I hope to have that done before the end of March. I wasn't given a warm fuzzy feeling on that today. From the auditors, we still owe them some information that hopefully we can get it all to them by the end of this week and get that wrapped up as soon as possible. In the coming week, or the next work session, there's gonna be one new bond ordinance coming to you. It's for that SWIMS grant that I believe everyone voted to approve that as a resolution back in October, November. And we never did a bond ordinance for how we're gonna pay for our share of that. So we have to do the bond ordinance and new notes in the early May time periods when we get the money, but it all has to be finalized by early April. And I'm in that process, I came across that wasn't done yet. So working with the bond attorneys to get that taken care of. On top of that, we're gonna have to do a modification to the DRI bond ordinance. Part of the reason that I said that we had to take money out of the cash to pay for some capital projects. This was one of those projects. So we're gonna have to increase that bond ordinance to cover those funds. I'm still working with the bond attorneys on that and getting a good number for you. And so far, up through February 9th, the health savings reimbursement, the HRA account that we changed over in the medical field, we spent $57,000 on those claims so far. The budget amount was roughly $75,000 a month. So we're at 57 is about a month plus 1 week. So we're a little bit under budget at this point on that. Usually you get the bigger hits in the beginning of the year. As people start using the card and it will decrease over time. So hopefully that's a positive sign there. Just make sure I got everything down. I did mention a little bit about the 2026 budget error. I will get that to you for the next meeting. I've talked to the larger departments. We've come up with ways that we could reduce some of their expenses. And as of this writing, I think it was at $294,000 left to find. I got some ideas and we'll see whether I can get there. We'll get there one way or another.
Any questions?
So excuse me, with the audit, you're hoping to have that submitted by March.
By
But
the end
it's-
of March.
But it's now in question. You're not sure if you're gonna be able to get that completed by March, is that correct?
That's correct at this point. I have not been guaranteed that.
Well, could you get council a list of the materials that they still need to complete the audit so we can get an update on where things stand?
I can get you a laundry list of stuff. Yeah, most of it is going through all the accounts and giving them schedules of what makes up every item. So you have examples, what do we owe the county, what do we owe so and so, what do we have in payables? It's just pulling all that detail together for them.
And you mentioned that 2.4 million that you believe was misaccounted for in the budget. And you think that's what's causing a lot of these issues.
Yes,
Could you explain the process of how you go about determining if that is the case?
I believe there's $2.4 million. It's called miscellaneous revenue. That was 2,404,000. I don't anticipate us receiving that. I could only, from what I can tell, and that's similar to an amount that is owed to the capital fund. And I've seen that error happen on multiple occasions, which makes me believe that 2.4 is the same situation. I mean, could it be as simple as someone plugging a number to balance the budget? That's it, but I'm not saying that because I don't believe that to be the truth from what I've seen. I believe she really thought that this receivable on the general fund was going to be recorded as revenue. Just like she did on a couple other occasions.
And do we have a time frame on that sales tax payment in the county?
Yes, we're gonna get that. We had a meeting with them and we're gonna be getting it at the end of February. I think it's February 27th. Is that what they said?
Yes, right. Do we know when we're likely to have a plug for that $300,000 shortfall in the budget?
I will have it by the March 3rd meeting. Hopefully it's not a plug. Hopefully it's a number that we can meet.
I appreciate that. With the swims grant that we have to have the bond for, was the bond budgeted for in this past budget?
Yes, there was both principal and interest that was budgeted for in the 26 budget.
And you said you don't know the total on that bond currently, but you will be figuring that out shortly, or where did?
You have to rephrase that with
With that bond for swims, what's the dollar figure on that, or are you not sure of that at the moment?
Mayor, is it 20% of the 5 million?
Yes.
So it's about $900,000.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then have we had any people on the city health insurance or retirees who have had uncovered health expenses since the last council meeting?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I'm sure we will know.
Yeah, I'm sure we would have heard about it. Well, just making sure.
Actually, I'll say this on that, Councilman Down, I've not heard a whole lot of complaints from individuals on the health insurance. I sit next to the person that handles it and I mean, there's always gonna have someone that comes up and says about this coverage or that, but I've not heard anyone really upset about anything.
Okay, and are we planning on using Insero for next year's audit as well, or?
The answer to that question is if they will do it, yes. I have talked to them about it. They have not guaranteed me they'll do it. I tried to get them to tie in to give us a set price. Right now, we're on an hourly basis. Depending on how this audit goes, we'll get an answer. Do I believe they'll do it? Yes. But at what cost, I don't know.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Anybody else? All right, like you, we'll hopefully get some clear answers for next one. All right, so motion to receive and file the monthly financial report, can I get a motion? Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Beckwith, anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to receive and file, the memorandum from, myself with the common council regarding the audit and parking fee. I just want to make sure to note that Ms. Lane is on the, parking fee schedule and review committee as well. I got a good motion to receive and file the committee.
Motion.
I'll second
Mr. Allen, Ms. Powell, anybody else have any questions? Well, that'll be helpful to get some of these answers to those audit stuff and get the left right into the level of detail. Okay, we'll move it, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried, so, and then also, I just want to make sure everybody receive and file. Memorandum for the conflict of interest that Alderman Beckwith's, relative is in the rehab program, which. Nobody from this council, I think you're on the committee, you know, but no other, he's not on that committee or nobody has any influence on that to make sure there's no conflict of interest. Recognized if she's getting the CDBG funds. I just want to make sure that's clear and also stated in the minutes. I have a motion to receive and file that. Ms. Lane, Mr. Carpenter, any questions on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. All right, mayor's report. So a couple of things I want to talk about here, a couple of things that fit into some of the comments and discussions that were made here. So first I want to talk about the, we have applied to the DOT to do something with the crosswalks. That's out of our jurisdiction, but we've gone to the Traffic and Safety Committee. The DOT is looking at that to try to do something to clear up those crosswalks. Thanks for the information on the crosswalk from Brew over. That was all just confirmed to me as well. I'm sure we have somebody in the back that's taking notes and we'll get that taken care of right away. As well as the code office for those sidewalks in front of, I think it's the lot next to the Salvation Army, but we'll get it taken care of. But anytime we have lots like, there's been a lot of sidewalks and a lot of issues this year. It's been a very tough winter. I want to commend our DPW, and although it's been really difficult for everybody, you know, and everybody wants to probably strangle the plow when it goes by as it plows in their driveway and you have to shovel that back out again. You know, but they've gone out to do the ADA walks, the ramps, because it's really difficult for people to get to. We're trying to make our city as accessible as we can to try to do that. So I appreciate their extra efforts there. You know, salt's been a commodity, that's been difficult. So equipment's been breaking down, which they're waiting for some equipment. So they've had some unrealistic goals to try to get. And I do appreciate what they have done there, in that aspect. Also as far as the Wi-Fi goes, that's not open to the, there's no landing page for it. And they're currently working on getting all those aspects up and running, so that has not been a public release. We'll have a public release for that with the QR code like you recommended, which is going in all the businesses' windows as well, which would be a public release when we get to that point, but they're there, and maybe you can even see it. I think just last week, right, Mike, we just got them powered up, I think. The ends of those, and even some of them we've got a couple black spots, so they're still trying to work out some of that fiber, but that'll be up and running for the parks, if not sooner, to be able to do that. But we will do a press release when we expect. I hope that the press will work with us to try to get that out. I know that Empire had mentioned it in their press release and to talk about it, but it's not up, but we need a landing page to hit exactly that. restaurants, and what's available to you, parking availability, how that all works. And all those are on that homepage, which we're landing to. So, thanks for bringing that up, because I didn't have that as a topic, and that's something we need to get to. Wastewater, we're currently going through, we just went through an inspection, it was, Mr. McMahon's first inspection and, was all flying colors and doing well. We're working on the digester, which is the flame that everybody sees running. When that's running, that means we're not burning the methane gas. We're running our generator, which is not good for the environment. So once that generator is running, that generates power and saves us thousands of dollars. So we're working on that, we're working on the other improvements on the grant, so a lot going on in the wastewater treatment plan. PD, I think they're up to full staff till Friday, right? So then we have a walkout Friday retirement. For Officer Walk was an exemplary officer and will go out on Friday, and his walkout in the afternoon at 2:45. So, any council members, anybody wants to attend that, it's quite an experience. Youth Bureau continues works on the Randall Park building. We have some preliminary designs and trying to look at that, trying to get some numbers together for that. I just remember something on that, but, so that's up and coming and, as well as the swims grant, which I think, we talked about. The water department, the frost is driven, I think somewhere down around feet. Main road. Roads, so they've had some diligent, that make things difficult. Utility bills are out of control. It should really, everybody's been, to NICOM when I was at last meeting, we have pushed for an effort to try attention to some of these utilities that are just driving things out of control. As far as homeless part, yesterday, actually today was the first, the gray space was open on Pendleton 64. If anybody has a chance to do that, and Alderman Michael's got there and I has to go by there, it's a great thing. Get funds and time and sweat equity and hire and hide over every effort that we can do personally is pretty, to try to make that happen and every benefit for that. Mental health building across kitty corner of the street, opening the 23rd, which is next Monday. That's courses have been worked out, a place to be able to go to and have a place that's warm. There was 9 deaths attributed in January in Cortland County, and just the city. In Cortland County, 2 of them were people that had frozen to death and were heart attacks from shoveling heavy snow or something in following winter. So, it's certainly real to all of us, or at least to myself. I'm sure everybody else here, we're all compassionate people. We're trying to do everything we can to try to help, and we will continue to do so as we'll, by supporting those agencies that can help and have those resources that are available. But I do encourage you to start, we have very interactive point system. It's very, there's a great donations from local businesses to even the cannabis business that give towards furniture in there and all those kind of items, which has been helpful for the gray space to be able to be. And it really came out pretty nice. And there's washers and dryers and bathrooms and showers and it's food sources and ADA accessible. Still some work to come, and we'll continue to make it better, get some nice outdoor space and be able to do that. And so we will continually work with them, get them the help that they need. So again, during NICOM, I met with the Senator and Assembly Member Webb and Dallas to go over our priorities and our needs for our community, and they're working very well with us to try to help us and very well doing their job of trying to help make things the best. And Senator Webb was here on the 6th, actually a day or 2 after I was with her up in Albany at Randall School doing her Valentine cards for the seniors initiative, which is a great, again, a need that people can feel a little bit of excitement when they get that card from the youth that we have. On the 28th, the Cortland County SPCA, for the Love of Paws basket raffle fundraiser is the Homer Elks Lodge from 1 to 4. There's some great raffle tickets that are gonna be there, from sporting tickets to other great events, great things to be able to have. So if you can attend that, it's going to be one of those put it in there and get your tickets for those baskets, because I think that'd be a great thing, and certainly a good organization that's really trying to help our community. On the 20th and 21st, coming up, the Portland Area Chamber will have their the business showcase at the sports complex there as well. So I covered a lot. Let me make sure I covered everything else that was brought up in this. Oh, and there is a crosswalk that is going in as soon as the weather permits, to yellow crosswalk sign that goes in front of the post office, and then there's another one down in front of New York Bagel. I think that's what it is, right, Mike? Yes. So there's two more of those yellow flashing signs to get those crosswalks to help the pedestrians, because the college students cross a lot over by the post office, as well as others. It's too far to go to the next intersection. So that is up and coming, as well as in front of the hospital. Down by the hospital, by the daycare center, over to their parking lot is another dangerous area to try to slow down traffic. Certainly our roads have seen the abuse of the 11-foot frost, so be ready for that when spring is coming, but we're putting together a good program to analyze our roads and really decide which streets need to be done. All right, with that, unless somebody has a question here, we'll go to ward reports, and Ward 1 and it's gone, so Ward 2, Kate.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, great. So Ward 2 has been pretty quiet. I did have a constituent complaint about sidewalks, and I talked to the code office, and they said that they are doing their best to patrol sidewalks, to give out warnings, and to clear walks that haven't been cleared. So I appreciate that. Meanwhile, a week ago Monday, one of my constituents was walking in the road, as many people do up here, because of the state of the sidewalks. He was walking to the side of the road, not in the middle, and he got into a shouting match with somebody driving a yellow pickup truck, who told him to get out of the road. So they yelled back and forth. And then this individual driving parked his truck in the middle of the road, jumped out, shoved this senior citizen down, threatened him, and then got back in his truck and drove away. This was on Pleasant Street. And part of what's upsetting to me is that nobody in the cars that stacked up behind this truck when it was parked did anything to see if this person who had been shoved down was okay. I reached out to Chief Guerrera. He spoke to the responding officer because it was reported, and they are working on it. And I'm really grateful for that, because we all should be looking out for each other. This Cortland needs to be a safe and friendly place for everybody. And of course, you shouldn't engage in a shouting match, and everybody knows that you shouldn't do that. But at the same time, a senior citizen doesn't deserve to be shoved down. Tackled from behind, actually, is what happened. So that was disturbing. But apart from that, it's been pretty quiet. It's been too cold for people to be out and about, and hopefully that's changing. On a personal note, I should be able to join you in person at the next council meeting in March. I expect I'll be masked too, just out of extra and abundance of caution. But I hope to be in person next time. So that's the good news.
That is good news. I think Ms. Chapman said it before about whether it's seniors or others. I think we should really take some time to look at each other and really assess what's really happening. Very sad to hear those stories. But thank you. Ms. Pennell.
Yeah, so I just want to commend Mike and the DPW, I think you guys did a great job. Especially when it was so snowy and the roads were always plowed and always taken care of. And you were out, and so you did a great job. It was hard, it was very hard. Other than that and the weather, the third ward is good, it's quiet.
You set up the ward meeting.
I'm done.
Yeah. Ms. Lane?
Quiet in the fourth, there was a gate valve that broke on a pipe on Tompkins, right next to Dwayne. And Mike and the guys got there, fixed it, it's paved over. But because of the weather, it's gonna sink down a little, but it's already on the calendar for when the weather warms up to get done again, so. That's it,
It's only because that's the last street we paved this year.
yeah.
Mr. Conlon?
So I'm having, my February ward meeting on Monday, February 23rd, from 6 to 7 PM in Beaudry Park. Other than that, the birds seem to be leaving the ward, so we're very relieved to hear that. And that does say for the ward.
You send them to, I haven't seen them.
I'd rather not say.
That's the date, February.
23rd. Yes, Monday. I touched base with them. I'm no figuring that.
Reschedule. Okay. Because Jonathan, that Monday's I'll get you. Okay. Mr. Carter, please.
All quiet at 6th Ward. I do want to commend Mike for all the DPW, usually Hickory Park area, that whole area is usually the last to get hit when it's moving snow, but you guys have been doing a great job this year. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Packwood.
Did us again at DPW, like, you know, even see them going around the dead end streets, hauling snow away. It's obviously they're just making it work. Real quick, also, I know we'll have another meeting, but March 14th is the St. Baldrick's, which is a huge fundraiser, and kudos to Tom Torger and his staff at Red Jug and all of his establishment for them, I believe. And they raised a lot of money, and it's well worth it, you know, for the kids. So if you get a chance to go or donate, it's great. Other than that, all good.
Thank you, Mr. Michaels.
I was able to attend the youth bureau board meeting this week. I was gonna give Mike a call at DPW to knock down a snowbank in my ward, but this last thaw did it for you, so I think we're all set there for now. I also took the opportunity to tour the gray space that the mayor had mentioned earlier. For someone to say that this community isn't doing anything for these individuals, they're totally wrong. That place was actually full this afternoon when I toured it. And I was very impressed with the people that stepped up to the plate to make this happen. And I wanna thank the mayor as well. Because I know he puts a lot of time and effort, and I think some resources as well. And I also want to thank you for, I had a little trouble getting my foot through the door this afternoon, but a quick phone call cured that, and I want to thank the mayor for that. But I would certainly encourage anyone that to go over and take a look at this building. It's all that the mayor had mentioned. These individuals have a place to stay warm, relax, bring their meals in and eat them. Washer and dryer. They have a place where they can store their items without somebody walking off with them. They have a center for charging their phones, and it's a center that can charge several at once, not just a couple. And looking at the workmanship that went into that building, I'm very impressed with that. And I want to thank all those that donated their time and money to put that together. And I really encourage everyone to take a tour of that building. That's all I have. Thank you.
Real quick, Scott, talking what Tommy said, I know Oldie's covered it quite well today. I listened to on the radio on the way home, and they're actually, once they get the program going, they're gonna be seeking some volunteers to help out too, which is great. So if we do want to get
involved, that, I know it's new for them, but they are gonna be reaching out for volunteers to help keep the thing going, and it's a well deserved. So.
Yeah, it's a great way to communicate, be able to help and get resources over there, and the community resources that we need, for sure.
It's really too bad, though, Mayor, that the people that speak up, not Philip, but other people that speak up can't stay around long enough to hear this whole situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's tough. It's about getting information out there. Things aren't always what they are, and we don't just sit there and ignore them. It's just, it's hard work and it takes time, and we've been working on that project for.
Months.
I
Yeah.
can't tell you how much. It's the first
Over a year.
design, I drew it out on paper. I was a year to acquire that.
Yes.
It took me a year to acquire it, so it's not, they have. So it's obviously delegation.
Yeah.
All right, so anybody else have anything else? Okay, so the minutes from the last meeting, does anybody have any discussions or thoughts on that? Did I get a motion to approve? Mr. Carpenter. I was looking for Miss Silver.
Katie.
There we go. Miss Silver.
We got it for a word.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Opposed, carried. Agenda item number 1, set public hearing regarding renewal of franchise agreement with Spectrum, provider of cable services in the city of Portland.
Resolved that the city of Portland will hold a public hearing on March 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. at City Hall, 25 Court Street, Cortland, New York, to hear public comments on whether to approve a non-exclusive franchise agreement with Spectrum Northeast LLC for a 15-year period. And be it further resolved that at such public hearing, all persons will be given an opportunity to be heard. Written statements will be accepted at any time until the public hearing is closed.
I guess all. Mr. Michaels, Mr. Beckwith. On this, so this contract actually expired. A couple decades ago. Things have changed a lot since then. I mean, there's not a lot of other cable companies out there. There's only for cable. So internet providers are different, so they can provide this, and it is non-exclusive. But it does give the benefits to some of those, and we do get funds back on it.
The only thing I have is the 15 years, since the technology is changing, that it would be a lot day for 15 years, or if you do 10.
Well, I think.
I'm just throwing that out
You
there.
could argue that the opposite way.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they're always competitive there, but they're gonna have to change their business model, just cable.
Just throwing it out there, I know, a long commitment, long company.
We've had the other one for 20, Randall here, so I think the other one's 25 to 30 years, I think they have the last contract. So just to give you an idea, so.
Goes back to the
But I know, like,
1880s.
yeah,
Yeah.
Salmon's communication.
Yeah.
It was old. Yeah, it was, I think it was found on a typewriter, so.
But I know, obviously we've all seen Verizon, I guess, I'm, confused with Frontier, but, stringing wires all over the city, that's gonna become available at some point.
Yeah.
I just throwing that out there. You
Yeah,
guys.
at least the polls are different, that's a different rights to do it, but they have the franchise agreement, we can have more than one,
Okay,
we can add more, so.
okay, that's good, okay, I didn't know.
Keep that the same. Anybody else?
Just out of curiosity, how much have we raised from that previously, or how much should we anticipate from that 5%, or is it hard to?
I'd have to look.
We can
Some of
circle
those
back.
franchise, we can bring that up at the next one, we'll do a franchise. We could list all the franchise, cause of what we get paid, the payouts,
That'd be great.
I think it was, I don't know if it's ever been
Not
detailed.
gonna cover the 2-4, none of that.
You don't think so?
No.
All right, I'll put it in, I'll talk,
I appreciate
we'll get you a copy, Rich.
And then the only other one, in case it comes up between now and the public hearing, is have we been approached by anyone else looking to have a franchise
For cable, no.
for cable?
Okay, no.
Just wanted to clarify.
But again, it's not exclusive, so if we do, we can do the same thing.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? I call, please.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Conlon,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye.
Agenda item number 2, authorize applications to the National Police Dog Foundation General Assistance Grant Program for canine replacement.
Resolved that the city of Cortland County Council authorizes Mayor Steve or his designee to file an application for funds from the National Police Dog Foundation through its General Assistance Grant Program, and upon approval of said request, to execute all necessary documents and agreements for such for such financial assistance to the city of Cortland for the purchase of a replacement canine.
Any motion?
So moved.
Okay. Ms. Silliman, Mr. Carpenter.
Katie always overruled when she speaks up.
That's it. So I think this speaks for what it is, and I think it's a 50% patch.
No matches, so $5,000.
Oh, just $5,000.
No
Maybe there's a 5. So yeah, there's a 5,000, and so we're getting a lot of other interest in funding, trying to fund that. It's an expensive proposition for sure. Any questions? Can you move it, please?
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Conlon,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye.
Agenda item number 3, authorize change in occupancy tax percentage for overnight lodging at hotels, motels, and covered short-term rentals.
Resolved that the city of Cortland Common Council does hereby authorize the Director of Administration and Finance to collect an occupancy tax of 3% of the per diem rental rate for covered overnight lodging effective April 1st, 2026, in accordance with local law number 1 of 2025.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Pinello, Ms. Lane, anybody have any questions on that?
Where I wanted to be at the beginning.
But me too.
So I was looking at Ms. Lane for sure.
I do have a few questions. So, when we did the 1%, do we know how much we raised off of that?
Last year was, what's in last year's numbers right now is roughly $39,000.
Okay.
I
Right,
think that was for half a year.
and we haven't got some of the last quarter,
Really.
so that's really just over a quarter's worth.
And we haven't really gone out and audited it to make sure everybody that was supposed to filed it too. There's a lot of things we still have to do.
Okay, and then any ballpark of how much will the increase go right to 3? Is there a chance that is there discretion in terms of between 1 and 3, or is this moving it to 3?
It would move to 3 effective.
Okay.
With the billings they do in April, we
Mhm.
wouldn't see the money till like July.
Okay, do we have a sense for how much that 3% is likely to generate?
Off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
Mary, yeah, when you were sitting there going through them.
Yeah, more than 1%, yeah. I think for some reason, again, I think the number was 125,000.
Okay. So with the 8% sales tax, the 4% occupancy levy from the county and the 3% city, that makes the effective tax rate for the occupancy or total of 15%. Do we know how that stacks up to other municipalities that have occupancy taxes for hotels?
Contiguous to us, I know it's about the same or a little bit less.
Okay. So I spoke with some folks at the Visitors Bureau and someone who runs one of the hotels. And one of the concerns they have is how the money's been spent so far. So can someone speak to that somewhat in terms of how we're using that money once we collect it?
Well, we haven't really, like I said, we haven't really gotten a lot to do right away, but again, it would be for marketing and to drive the community's events to be more enticing for people to occupy the coming next weekend. There is a listing of items, I think, on that first resolution that we did.
It really, yeah, makes sense because it's really benefiting them as well, even though they got that expense, but doing more of it towards benefit them.
Well, some of the folks I spoke with, they expressed concern over the summer months, especially they were getting complaint about once a week over the occupancy tax. And concern over moving it to 3 and whether or not that'll drive people to potentially book hotels in Ithaca or Tompkins or Onondaga County.
For sure, because the rates have gone up. They go up in the summer because it's baseball.
Right.
So they go.
There's a lot of that, if there is something going on here, there's not a hotel available anyway, so that drives them over. Syracuse, I think.
Right, but that's a concern I heard from them. Have we what have we done in terms of outreach to hotels to explain how the funds are being used and things of that nature?
With when the original tax went out, we gave them letters, and they understood what that was all about, and tried to do that. We do a pretty decent dialogue with hotels, to give them understanding what that it's like, and keeping track of what the benefit, where the holes are, whether or not filling and where they are. We have some different ones, we need more. That's a problem. I mean, having a 3%, that's why we did one originally, because it does bring that economic concern when you push that level to the too far, right? So you can price yourself out of it, and they'll just travel to the next area. And that relies on them also not placing it too high for local hotels, so they know that make it up. So there's, 500 hotel rooms in this city. We have graduation going on, or we have Cortica weekend where, everybody's coming in town. All of a sudden the rates get escalated, and now you're at another, 3% onto that, plus 8% sales tax plus 4%. Before half of that is 4%. So it ends up being quite a significant hit to somebody coming in, especially when you're paying $175 a night. But we had room rates that were outrageous during the summer, so up to 300 a night. And that's where the VRBOs started coming out, and then we started getting rentals in neighborhoods. And that creates a whole nother, so this does come with caution, it's not, and that's why we said to try to see where that lands and where that can be, where it is. Like I think there's 2 counties now that have raised their sales tax, even not promoting that or saying anything about that. So at a certain point, people will go to the next county to buy clothes or not. So it doesn't have that either. So those are all questions.
Do we know what Syracuse and Ithaca charge? I mean, do they do 3%?
I don't have that right off the top of my head.
Okay.
And I always said these hotels is price down, and that's anyway,
Right.
but it's just, I don't know how we address that, but.
I mean, $300 and something for a
Yeah,
room.
no, it's just.
Crazy.
You go to your Leadville City, you're gonna pay that much.
Supply and demand.
Yes, yep.
And I know Mr. Fager's doing a great job, but at some point, it'd be nice to make sure that. All these ones are registered or whatever, that they're paying their share. I don't want it to go to.
Yeah, they all have
For
been.
the ones that are.
Yeah, Randall's not here to speak to it. I know
Yeah.
we've had one
I know I bring that up all the time.
Everybody's done, but VRBOs, we're trying to, the county is actually looking at it. We talked about this the other day when we had a meeting with the county. The county's actually looking at hiring to get the VRBOs, outside council to do that. So that'll benefit us.
Right, benefits everybody, and especially the ones that are trying to be fair and then they're getting penalized because the ones that aren't paying their share.
The idea is to keep the hotels full even when they're not. So if we have these other events to help create other events to make those happen, that's the idea.
Hey, Mayor, I did a quick Google. Binghamton is 5%, Ithaca is 5%, and Syracuse is 2%.
Okay.
Do we know what and this can be this doesn't have to be right now. I don't think Googling all of this is a great use of everyone's time, but do we know what the counties, or could we check on what those counties are doing? I know the cities is helpful, but is it the same?
It's the same.
They don't go to 3.
No, that's what, well, we go to 3 because that's what made our local law. Right, so when we did our local law, we said up to 3, we ended up to 5, that's a lot. Sure. Anything else, but good points, good things to consider, for sure.
I just had, the people I spoke with largely were in support of this as a concept, and I think it's largely a matter of getting the information out about how we'll be spending it as we roll it out. So I appreciate to work with you on that and help where I can on that front. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for looking that up.
Anybody else? Okay, move it, please.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Conlon,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter, Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye.
Agenda item number 4, approve special event permits for the YMCA run and walk events.
Resolved that the City of Portland Common Council does hereby approve for issuance by the city clerk, special event permits and sound device permits without fees for the YMCA events described below, conditioned on fulfillment of applicable state and local code requirements and approval by the chief of police. They will be holding the Corn Ducky Derby 5K on May 2nd in Southern Park in the vicinity. The Viking 5K, June 20th. beginning and ending in Courthouse Park up West Court Street, Tompkins, to the college and returning. The Leaf Peeper Half Marathon, September 26th, in Yeaman Park and vicinity. The Run for All, October 10th, in Yeaman Park and vicinity. And the Turkey Trot 5K, November 26th. It goes from the YMCA down Tompkins Street to the college and back.
I got a motion. Back with the carpenter. Any questions? You got a lot of events for sure. That's good. All right, move it, please.
Councilman.
Aye.
Bill. Councilmember Pinello.
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Conlon.
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye.
Agenda item number 5, approve special event permits for hip hop in the park sponsored by Celebration Church.
Resolved that the city of Colin County Council does hereby approve issuance of a special event permit and sound device permit without fee for hip hop in the park sponsored by Celebration Church to be held Saturday, September 19th, 2026 from 1 to 5 p.m. in Courthouse Park. Be further resolved that the city clerk shall issue said permits conditioned on fulfillment of applicable state and local code requirements.
I got a motion. Mr. Conlon, Mr. Michaels. Any questions? And move it, please.
Councilmember Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello.
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Conlon.
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye.
Agenda item number 6, accept recognized donations to the police department.
Resolved that the city of Colin County Council, on behalf of Mayor Steve and the police department, expresses its gratitude for the generosity of the donors below. And be it further resolved that the county council hereby accepts the donations listed below and appropriates them to the accounts and for the purposes that's made below. Donation from Tri-Town Lodge 472 in Groton, $1,500 for the K9 to go to the K9 Donation Trust. The Cortland Breakfast Rotary Club, $3,500 to the K9 Fund and $500 to the McGruff Program Trust.
Most donation.
Okay. Mr. Carpenter. Beckwith. Again, please keep it on in. Do we have a total yet, chief, where we're at?
Over $5,000 in the budget prior to the, so we're a little over 10.
Okay.
Wow, that's great.
All right, thank you for that. And what's the goal? What's the goal, chief?
4 dogs.
No, is it for one?
No, I'm at the goal for 4 dogs.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's a cost for
How
sure.
much for one?
Well, it depends, anywhere between 15 and 30,000. The last 2 dogs that we did were just over 20.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, right, Andy?
No, yes,
Yeah.
yes, we do.
Okay. I call the roll, please.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Conlon,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith,
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye.
Agenda item number 7, authorize execution of engagement letter with Phillips Lidell LLP for legal representation of the city of Portland.
Resolved that the city of Colin Common Council hereby authorizes Mayor Steve to execute an engagement letter with Phillips Lidell LLP for legal services related to the defense of the city in an Article 78 proceeding.
I'll move it. I'll second.
Ms. Cannell and Ms. Lane, so just to, for the transparency reasons, I mean, this is against a former employee. I think, that has, claims that they should be getting, health insurance coverage, and we do not, so that's what that lawsuit is about. So that's, in full disclosure, so I think that's enough without explaining the exact employee. I think that's fair enough, to make sure that's reflected in the minutes.
And this law firm is nationally respected, and they have different law firms in, Buffalo and Syracuse and New York City. They are very well respected.
And, yeah, and we, Randall did, he's not here, he's on vacation, but Randall did reach out, and that's a ridiculous amount per hour. hourly rate, but that is one of the less ones, so let's hope that they make it brief and quick and they're good.
Yeah, well, actually, I heard they usually charge more
Yeah, that's true.
and they're giving us a break.
That's exactly true. So thank you, Randall, for that. With that said, we'll move it, please.
I would just like to add that it's cost effective to hire somebody who really knows this end of the lawyering business. And Randall said that this wasn't a case that he could help us with effectively. So I think it's important to get the outside counsel.
To do justice, because the cost, long-term cost would be more than that, so we gotta look at all that in perspective here.
You don't go to the heart doctor to get your tooth pulled, right?
I hope not. All right, anybody else? All right, move it, please.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane.
Aye.
Councilmember Conlon,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye.
All right, I think that's it, right? I have a summarized page in front, I don't know, that's the end of it. All right, with that, anybody else have anything else for that? So next meeting, we'll have to deal with this, the union contract and make sure we do that, we can do some resolutions and then public hearings, so we can get this stuff, moving forward. All right, anybody else? Okay, motion to adjourn,
Sorry.
Take that.
Mr. Conlon, Mr. Michaels, all those in favor?
Aye.
Next month, we're gonna keep the potholes to one individual. Home, for all the persons.
Hey, Mike. Get me off.
It's under there. It's under there.